And coming in at number 6 is somebody who is my favorite country singer of all time. And at least I always say he is. I haven't actually dove too deep in to look and see. Maybe there's someone who I technically like a little more. But Justin Moore is my favorite country singer of all time and my 6th favorite show that I went to last year. Justin Moore's Hell on a Highway tour with Dylan Scott, which came through the First Bank Center at Broomfield, Colorado, or in Broomfield, Colorado. It's a cool little arena venue. I've seen a couple of shows there before. This was probably the best show I've seen there, although it was undersold and arguably at the fault of the promoters, but it might just be that Justin Moore's not as popular as he was. I've seen him every year at least once for the past several years, and the crowds get smaller and smaller. That's just something that happens in the industry, I guess. He's got this new album coming out though it's shaping up to be fucking awesome. So this could put him back on top to where maybe next time he comes through and sells this whole place out. The place wasn't sold out. It was actually maybe less than half full, but that didn't take away from the show at all. In fact, it actually might have made it a little better in my eyes. The music was awesome. Justin Moore's performance is amazing. I just love how he works the crowd. His stage setup's really cool too. He's got these risers that are like stairs with different lights, and he just does a bunch of fun stuff with the crowd. And he's always a great show to go to because it always just makes you feel good. It'll make you cry a little bit too, just because of how deep his songs are. And I think that might be why he might be my favorite country artist. But nonetheless, the show was awesome. He sounded amazing. His music was awesome. And one thing I noticed during the show, it was actually kind of like a special thing that made me like it more, was so artists do this when they're playing big venues, as they look out over the crowd and they're trying to get this part of the crowd to go crazy, and then they'll look up and they'll try to get the top part of the stadium or auditorium, wherever you're at. They try to work it in sections, try to make everybody over here freak out, over here freak out. And so he was working the front pretty good, and we had pretty decent seats. We were pretty close to the front there. But so he went his finger around the bottom of the crowd, got everybody going crazy, and then he went back up and he looked up and did this, and tried to get the top of the crowd to join in and go crazy too. But there was nobody there, and and you saw the look on his face. You saw him realize, like, fuck, and it's kind of a shitty thing, but I felt like, because I saw him notice it, but for maybe 3 seconds, it kind of stumped him a little bit. But then after that, he spun around and just started playing harder and having more fun. And I don't know, it just seemed like he knew at that moment that he was playing to people who are actually his fans. Because with these big arenas and these big like stadium shows, sometimes they sell some seats for really cheap just to fill it out, or they give a lot of tickets away, or they have specials on tickets. That's how they fill these arenas up. So sometimes you'll get people there that are just there to see a show for cheap, or maybe they got tickets for free. But he knew he was playing to his crowd, people that came to see him, and he just really worked that angle. And I bring that up because I've seen this happen at other shows. I saw a similar thing happen with Vince Neil when I saw him at the Greeley Stampede a couple of years ago. Did the same thing, got everyone worked up in the front, then went to work the back of the crowd, and there was nobody there, and it just pissed him off, and he actually left the stage and just came back grumpy and played a couple more songs and ended his set. Justin Moore did the complete opposite and just totally he used it. It was like fuel for him, and it was just really cool to see that. And all that aside, he's just an awesome live performer, the best country act probably touring, even though he's not at the top of this list. I've seen his show 5 times, so that really says something. I'm going to keep going back, and it's probably going to be on my top 10 list each year as long as he keeps coming through my area. Dylan Scott opened up the show, and he only had a couple of songs at the time. He worked the crowd pretty good too, and his stage setup was cool. He had screens directly behind him that showed music videos for his songs and lyrics for his songs, which a lot of artists don't really do that word for word. But it's cool because he sings love songs, so he had like his wedding video playing in the back during a couple of them. So yeah, all in all, an awesome fucking show. Number 6 on the list, Justin Moore and Dylan Scott, the Hell on a Highway tour.